What's up, real ones? Welcome to Let's View It. It's your love me or hate me host, Tyrone Cross, and in today's video, I'm going at Officer Tatum again. For those that don't know, Officer Tatum is a black conservative, supposedly Christian man who does nothing but spread negativity and hate to black people. All he does is say black people victimize themselves and that black people are the only racist people in this world. Literally, he says this. He says white people being racist is a fantasy, a made-up fantasy. He has literally made videos saying that we have to make up racism because it does not exist.
I'm sick of people playing the game and explaining or trying to expound upon this theology that America is a racist place. The funny thing is that America is such a non-racist place that people have to make up racism.
He has even said racism might have been worse in the past, but he doesn't know because he wasn't alive back then. It might have been worse in the past. Might have been. This dude is so much of a grifter, he can't even say racism was worse in the past. Just a vague statement like that. That is hard for him to let those words out his mouth because he's such a goddamn grifter. And as you guys know and can see, I can't stand people like this. Mainly black people are the ones doing this because they're the ones that can get away with it. They're the ones that can create content and be racist towards black people while hiding behind their own race. Because obviously they can't be racist if they're black, which is obviously not true because they are acting racist and are black. But sometimes I wonder if they even really believe the stuff they're saying, or are they just feeding racist people so they can get views and clicks? I lean towards they don't really believe what they're saying. They just want the views, the clicks, the subs, the money. They're basically selling their soul for success. I could do the exact same thing, but obviously I'm better than that. So anyways, Officer Tatum is back on his dum-dum, and this time he attacks the topic, poorly I might add, on whether or not calling black people when they act out ghetto or a thug, is that like calling them the N-word, or is it equivalent? Now before I get into my opinion, let me show you the video clip that Officer Tatum did. So you already know, let's view it.
10 ways you say the N-word without saying the N-word. If you use any of these terms or phrases in reference to black people, you are just as racist as the person that actually uses the N-word. Here are the words: thug, ghetto, welfare queen, lazy, race baiter, race grifter, threatening, angry, dangerous. Or you say that we're playing the victim or we are a diversity hire. What you actually mean to say is the N-word. Just stop it. If you say these words or phrases, you are calling us the N-word. If you say these ignorant racist terms or phrases around your children, you're also teaching your children to be racist just like you. So I have good news and bad news for you. Here's the bad news. You're not as non-racist as you thought you were, and you're certainly not anti-racist. Here's the good news. You can unlearn all the racist crap you've been taught and reject white supremacist ideologies that you believe.
Okay.
Wait, let me clarify something real quick before Dum Dum talks. I don't agree with all those words she said, or like saying the N-word to a black person. But ghetto and thug, possibly welfare queen, but mainly ghetto and thug and ratchet, I don't even know if she said ratchet, are the words that I think mainly pertain to what she's saying. Angry, lazy, those are just basic words. Those are words you call anybody whenever they're angry or lazy. You don't call anybody ghetto or a thug or ratchet when they're acting out. That tends to be only towards black people. But let's put a pin in that.
No more. Oh, I stomached enough. You know how silly it is for somebody to say, you're racist if you use the word ghetto. Well, the word ghetto is not an American word. It didn't originate in America. There was ghettos in Europe. Those ghettos were adopted and used in our language here in the United States of America. If you say thug, well, first of all, thug is not original in our language. And if you're doing thuggery, you're a thug. And you are using all these derogatory terms. That's how crazy black people are. That's why people can't stand y'all. You are perpetuating victimhood onto black people. Because if you use the word thug, you are the one that's saying it's synonymous with black people. If you use the word ghetto, you're the one saying that it's synonymous with black people. So if a white person say the black man is a thug, the white person may also think the white person is a thug. But the white people don't connect the word to them exclusively. You're the one that feels insecure and nutty enough to think that white people can't even use common terms that black people use on each other every single day. But the crazy thing is black people are okay with them saying it to white people, but white people can't say it to you. Like, girl, go sit down somewhere. Go sit down somewhere. Go to the next video.
Now, I'm going to give him props first because I'm a real one. That's what I do. I appreciate that he mainly focused on the words ghetto and thug, not all those other words she said. Like I said before, I feel like ghetto and thug are the ones that mainly pertain to what she's talking about, other than angry, lazy, and all that other stuff. So I'm happy that Officer Tatum didn't go into all those other words and that he stuck with ghetto and thug. But that's all the credit he's gonna get. Cause now we're gonna go into his straight ignorance, his uneducatedness, and his stupid ass arguments that make no sense. So let's go down the list. His first argument was that ghetto and thug aren't American words, so they can't be racist. What the fuck does that even mean? Does he even realize that no words we say are American words? Basically, how we talk is taken from all kinds of different languages and mixed up. There are no words that America has actually created. At least I can't think of any. And even our slang are usually words that already exist that we choose to use wrong, or sayings that we choose to use wrong. We didn't invent them. And to take this even further, is he saying that the N-word is not a racist slur? Is he saying that? Because the N-word isn't invented in America either. So obviously that argument is the most flawed argument in the whole wide world. All that matters is why America is saying that word and what they are using it for. If they are using it for racist slurs, if they're using it to be racist at all, if they're using it to be divisive, then that's what it is. You can't just say, no, I wasn't being hateful or racist or divisive because America didn't invent that word.
What?
Whoever invented the word has nothing to do with how we're using it and how we understand it. So that argument right there is just very ignorant and makes no sense. I don't know who gives them these arguments. I don't know who comes up with these arguments, but he's a grifter and he's going to say them. Now let's move on to a second whack-ass argument, which was black people are the ones calling themselves ghetto. Black people are the ones calling themselves thugs. So why are they mad when other people call them that? First of all, I don't know any black people calling themselves thugs. Who the hell is he talking about? Tupac? Is he talking about the 1990s when Tupac was out and he kept living the thug life? Is that what he's talking about? Bone Thugs and Harmony? Is he talking about rappers and now blanketing that over all black people, saying now all black people call themselves thugs? Who does he know that calls himself a thug that's black? Who does he know? That statement right there is just not true. He's a grifter. Black people don't go around calling themselves thugs and ghetto. But trust me, there are white racist people that would love to think that, hear that, and believe that. So when you say that, you get a bunch of views, but it's not true. Black people don't do that. That's like me saying I can call every white person racist because the Ku Klux Klan say they're racist. So all white people say they're racist. That's how much logic that has. But it works. It works for his audience because they want it to be true. They're not thinking about if it makes sense. They want it to be true. And secondly, Tatum saying, since you call yourself that, others can call you that, is the same argument that white racist people use when they want to call black people the N-word. They literally say, why not? You do it, even though it's obvious why they can't. They still try to use that argument because it seems logical that if you call yourself something, then everyone else can, right? That's like if you're at work and you make a mistake and you go, damn, I'm fucking stupid. Now imagine if the next time you make a mistake, your supervisor or coworker goes,
"Man, you're fucking stupid."
you're gonna be like, what the fuck? Why are you calling me fucking stupid? Then they can just be like,
"Well, you call yourself that."
of course you wouldn't accept that excuse. They know damn well they can't call you fucking stupid just because you called yourself fucking stupid. Want another example? Let's say you're talking to someone and they're like,
"Damn, my kids are brats and punks."
then one day you're talking to them and you're like,
"Damn, your kids are brats and punks."
they're gonna be like,
"Why are you calling my kids brats and punks?"
do you really think you can be like,
"Will you call them brats and punks?"
want another example? When if two girlfriends, and I mean like actual friends, not lesbian stuff, call themselves bitches. You know how they do.
"Shut up, bitch. Yeah, bitch. You my bitch."
Now you come into the conversation, you don't know them. Are you gonna start calling them bitches and be like,
"What? You guys were?"
want another example? You might call your significant other, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, a certain term or nickname that others don't. Now, does that give everyone else the right to call them the same nickname because you do it? Of course not. How you address people is not that black and white. Obviously, everyone has different relationships with different people. So rules don't always apply for everybody. So just because you're able to call someone something doesn't mean I can too. Or just because you called yourself something doesn't mean I get to too. That's not how it works, and we all know this, but this idiot dumb grifter wants to play stupid like, I don't get it. You called yourself that, so why you mad? These type of people are so irritating. He's literally the type of person that says, black people make everything about race. Everything's about race. Everything's about racism. But literally every video he makes is about how everything's not about racism. Which, guess what, guys, is still talking about racism. He just hates people talking about that there is racism, and he's always talking about that there's not racism. But it's still the topic of racism. Anyone who takes time to actually think about any of this stuff can clearly see that none of it makes sense and it's grifting. They're just feeding racist people's emotions and getting clicks and views. That's it. But to sum up my opinion about the thug and ghetto thing, this is how I look at it. Yes, in general, thug doesn't mean black bad person. Ghetto doesn't mean black bad person. But those two words we don't use in general. We only use it towards black people, or 99% towards black people. But the thing is this, white people don't generally use the word thug or ghetto when they're talking about bad behaviors or trashy behaviors or ratchet. These are not vocabulary words that they use typically. They only use it if a black person is the one doing the acting out. Now, is that racist? Well, look at it like this. If I use a certain word for a person that acts out, and I use it for every single person, except for an Asian person, I change the word. Why would I be doing that? If it's a white person acting out, I call him a bad person. If it's a black person acting out, I call him a bad person. If it's a Native American acting out, I call him a bad person. If it's a Samoan acting out, I call him a bad person. But if it's a Chinese person acting out, I call him a thug. Wouldn't you look at me like,
"Why do you only call Chinese people thugs?"
And I looked at you and told you,
"Well, they call themselves thugs?"
Would you think that made sense? Or would you still think there's something wrong with me in the way I think about Chinese people? Or at least the way I'm trained in addressing Chinese people. But anyways, I have noticed for a while that whenever black people would act out, they would call them thugs. Even with the Angel Reese thing, everything is thug ghetto. Kennedy Carter, these are WNBA players if you don't know who I'm talking about. And they're getting attacked and they're called thugs, ghetto. And these girls have no criminal record and they're college graduates. How is that a thug? Just because they do a hard foul on the basketball court, now they're a thug? If being successful, a professional athlete, and getting through college is a thug and a ghetto person, I guess I'm raising my daughter to be a thug and a ghetto person. If that's what it is these days, then we all need to reach our thuggish, ghetto-ish goals. But now that you know Officer Tatum is just a big ass idiot that grifts and gets racist people to support him, all I need you guys to do is Comment below. Tell me what you think. Why do you think the mainstream media and social media uses words like thug and ghetto when they are talking about black people acting out? Or do you think there's no racial tone whatsoever when you call black people ghetto or thug? Or do you think you should be able to because, all black people call themselves thugs anyway? But while you're telling me your thoughts, I'm also gonna need you to hit that bell like the hunchback. Also click that hit checker button and sub ride with me. And I'll see you on the next trip.
Day and night. Keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real. All my life. Keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real. Can't help keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real. That's why I keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real.